Yes, thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Bake Shop. As always, my buddy here, partner in crime, Mr. James Dockery, Fish Slaying Machine, aka Dockery Biggins and
That's
Dockery
right.
Dink, the Angry Fisherman.
No,
His name list continues to grow,
it
and I am
does.
the Chad, not to be mistaken with the Chad, but the Chad. So just make sure we straighten that out right now, just in case Fins and Fines is in here, and any of the other Chads that have started taking over the scene and kicking me out. Let's say hi to
You
some
sound a
beautiful
little bitter
people.
about that.
I don't even want to talk about it. Here's my beautiful wife. Get hooked on fishing on D fishing. Chrissy Brown, Ernie Brown, Mo Creek, Art. Betty Jean is driving but listening. Let's see. Mr. Avid, Mark from Catfishing Crappie, 2 stands fishing. I repeat, 2 stands fishing. I do see you, sir, so you don't think that I missed you again. Jason Lamb. Let's see. Panfish Nation, what's going on, Mr. Lyle? Speaking of Panfish Nation, apparently they have a show right after ours.
What?
Mr. Michael Murillo is in the chat tonight, and he said that there was a kick-ass show right after this one, and I guess he's referring to Panfish Nation, but we'll see. They do okay. I mean, they're probably not on our level, but they do an alright job, I reckon.
I suppose.
When they know where they're at. Hey, Larry Oliver, welcome to the show. Country Boy Catfishing, Mr. Mike Irvin, Creole Catfishing, and the weekend ditch pickler has arrived. And speaking of, now we got Mr. Chad Nolte is in the house. Weekend ditch pickler. Is Chadwick James here yet? And how much longer do we have until the arrival of Chadwick James?
You know, I kind of have to question his whole story about slipping and, on the linoleum and busting his face up. And Christina just finally had enough of him and put a whooping to him. She more than likely woke up and there was a new boat parked in her parking spot.
I guarantee it.
That's what it was. And
or
she just,
he's always like trying different stuff. He's probably building a boat rack in that spot now where he can have multiple boats in the same spots where he has a lift. Tucks the next one. Look, I just gave him an idea. He's running with that one right now. Due date is June 30th. Okay, but all right. Oh my goodness, we got Brittany in here. We've got Celissa in here watching some of my. Well, one is now a former employee. I finally got rid of one. The other one keeps back talking me at work, and she's going to get it too. So
whatever.
She knows what she's done.
You'd go,
John Boys.
You would get mad with them, and them girls would whoop your ass. Something fierce.
Like they haven't threatened me multiple times already. LG Bass, what is up, my friend? I just seen somebody else. Green Machine, Dan, what's going on, buddy? Maurice with angry faces on me again. I don't know. I one of these days I'm gonna have to take a trip down to Tennessee. I need to figure out how to get in touch with Mr. Maurice or something. Somebody needs to give me some locations where he hangs out, because I got to go down there and set this straight with this guy. I mean, all these for the last year and a half. I mean, I've had nothing but love for our brother Maurice Kaysen, and all of a sudden it's like he's on Team Dockery and he's angry towards me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I've done to him.
I don't know, but you better fix it, whatever it is.
I don't know what else I can do other than make a Tennessee trip to see my buddy Maurice and set this right. We got Kyle from the One Tonners in the house here. Brian B. Glad to see you guys. How's your week going so far, Dockery?
Busy, man. Really, really busy. Busy. I've only fished 3 days this week. It's been a slow one.
We're only 4 days into the week.
Well, I know, and I missed one day, so I'm behind.
Oh, you poor thing. Theodore Arco, what's going on, buddy? How's things going out west? 3 days, and you've probably caught more fish than I have all year.
Maybe.
I guarantee it. You know, you inspired me. You inspired me to start keeping track this year. And I don't have it in front of me, but I'm not touching your number. I think you catch more in one day than I've caught so far this year, but I haven't been targeting the panfish there like you do. Yeah.
Well, and see, and that's just it. Right now, the catfish up here are kind of stuck in between that. Pre-spawn, we don't really want to do too awful much, so we're going to just kind of lay here. And if you throw something on top of me, I might eat it. So I've been targeting, crappie and trying to figure them out because, like I said, our spring has been so messed up with the cold weather and everything else. So
yeah, these fish probably around in the middle part of the U.S. don't know what's going on because we haven't had a spring like this, and I don't remember how long.
Yeah,
it's true. Actually been like a true spring.
Miss Brittany Hawkins, my best friend.
So that was before I started. I hear you talk about I'm moving on because I don't want to hear about her anymore.
Okay.
Before I started catching fish, and he just wanted to be on the winning team. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm over the Brittany. Yeah. It's funny though.
What?
She went and left my team just to move literally outside the doors to the team where she can still stay close and be in touch. She didn't go far.
She's going to be your boss one of these days, right? She's going to move up that corporate ladder.
Well, if that happens, it's because of me. If she doesn't succeed, it's because she didn't listen to what I had to say. See how that works?
Yeah, and when she starts telling you that you have to call her yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and Miss Hawkins instead of Brittany all the time, I want a recording of that one.
Right.
I'm sure I know some people that can put some Christmas music to it or something like that.
Oh, we definitely know some people that can put some Christmas music to it.
Yeah.
Palmetto, what's going on? Parker Pursuits. I'm going to ignore Salissa's comment again, and Mark's agreeing with it.
Yeah. So, actually, I'm going to go down and fish with Parker and Mo here sometime this summer. So,
are you?
We haven't worked it all out yet. Yep. I'm going to take a couple of days. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to stalk around Lyle's house and see if I can't get Cindy to make some cinnamon rolls for a day or so and do a little bit of fishing with those guys again, and then head over and fish with Mo and Parker. And yep. So
I think that'd be fun. I'd like to hit some of them creeks like Parker does all the time. We have some creeks, but when it gets summertime, you can't fish them like what he has, where there's a steady stream. They dry up so bad.
Well, the Sheraton River, and they call it a river, all right, and I use that term very, very loosely, all right. You can't even float a kayak in this river during midsummer. It's just so low. Oh yeah. So right now it's not a bad time to fish it, but yeah. And don't worry, Josh, I'll come over and take Christina bluegill fishing while you watch the baby. So
there you go. Oh, this here is for Brittany and Salissa. All right. Anyway, I was actually messaging Josh the other day, trying to figure out whereabouts he is on the Ohio, and how long it'd take for us to get down there. It's hard to believe in Kentucky. It's almost 4.5 hours away where he fishes at down here, but I think we can make it happen.
See, and that's, somebody was asked me here the other night, they were like, do you really have 7,000 miles, just to fish this year? Yeah, I do. And, and that number's growing all the time. I mean, today was only 44 miles, but yesterday was 77. And, all that. Guys, I will drive to fish. I mean, if it's a new body of water that I've never fished in, I'm all over that.
Yeah, and see, that's what we're trying to do, start to branch out more into it, because the stretch that I fish on the Ohio River is great and all. I mean, but the Ohio River stretches from Pennsylvania all the way to the Mississippi River. There's a lot of area that I haven't got to fish on this river, even close. So I definitely want to start moving more.
Yeah. Well, when you branch out like that, I mean, there are days you don't get anything because it's a brand new body of water. You don't know what you're doing, or, you don't know what the layout of the lake is and stuff like that. But that's part of it, though. So, and I don't mind being skunked. Heck,
I would say that the trips that you've talked about this year, you've more than made up for being skunked at some point in time for the year. So, anytime 40 fish is a bad day, fishing, it's tough, Other than that day you beat the heck out of that dock roof.
Once I did that, and you guys will never let me live it down. I mean, come on now. And I did not put a hole in that roof, Josh.
That's not what somebody that was there, an eyewitness to the whole thing, told us.
Yeah, no, I'm not even buying it from her.
So how mad was Katie to find out that you have cost her 7,000 miles on her vehicle?
Well, okay, now here's the funny thing, okay? Because I was sitting there and I was thinking, and I just told her, I wonder exactly how far we've driven, because we literally have. I mean, we've gotten up one morning and decided we were going to go to the Gulf. We packed up a bag and we headed to the Gulf. We ended up down there. We've gone, we've driven from one side of the United States all the way to the other to catch one fish. So,
wow.
It's literally just wake up and go, okay, what are we doing today? And where are we going? And if it's a long trip, well, then it's a long trip. And there are times where we'll end up in somewhere new where it's okay. We pull up to a stop sign and I'll just tell her, pick left or right. And she'll pick left or right. We go that direction until we, come to another stop. And then I'll pick left or right. And that's how we get, we find some of these places is just, an adventure in itself.
I like that. You've told me multiple times you'll just be searching around maps like, "Ooh, I haven't hit that one yet. Let me go. This is where we're going tomorrow." So, I wasn't going to bring this up, but I will since you asked, Bullock. Honestly, I don't know who the thumbs down master is for a lot of these shows, but it seems like anybody that does a live show at the normal around 8 o'clock hour every day of the week gets the same thumbs down before they even start. And this, I'll be honest. Most people who know me, I'm a very laid back dude. Whatever. If you have a problem with somebody that you're giving them a thumbs down, go freaking talk to them, man. Come on. Don't be that damn bitter. Come on.
Yeah, but
I'm very easy. Look at me. I am the most easygoing person you're going to talk to. Come tell me what your problem is. I have no problem talking to you. And so I know it would not be Brittany or Celissa because
better yet,
they have to deal with me every day. Yeah.
Come talk to me.
Can be
and I do too, Lyle.
The secret's out. The secret is out. It is my brother, one of my oldest friends in the world, Mr. Bill Pondshot, is taking credit for my thumbs down. It is what it is. Yeah. Can't please everybody.
Well, you got two of them now. So.
Sweet.
You got two of them now. So
I love
we're
that
on
one.
That
one was probably Celissa.
Maybe if you treated your employees a little bit better, just saying.
You would think
if we find out. Hold on, I got a better idea.
What?
So the person that's been giving us, everybody the thumbs down and stuff like that, We just have Gabby go talk to him.
We have Gabby go idea.
And she will go and straighten everything out. How's that sound?
There ain't no doubt in my mind that sweet little non-threatening at all girl would definitely straighten some stuff out. Hey, Stephen Corley, what's going on?
Hey,
who else
Steven.
I see? Yeah, there's Gabby's dad. Speaking of the little devil.
Hey, there's Justin.
No pun intended.
Hold on. Ryan Bortz is in here. Ryan, I got a picture. I was going to post this a little bit earlier. Totally spaced it, but yeah, I got you a picture for today, buddy. We're going to make this little dink crappie tournament thing happen one of these days here pretty soon, and you better bring your A game, buddy, because I think I found them. They're a little bit tiny things, like tiny.
What he told me, he
things.
always brings his A game.
Oh, we'll get this done.
So Betty says it's me, lame Dockery, catches the only big fish he's ever caught in his life, and he makes videos bashing his little sister. Who are we kidding? We all know that Katie caught that fish.
All right, and because we're live, guys, if I send you a video or a picture, don't put it online. It's just for you to use, or for you to see. I don't, I've got a game plan. I'm trying to stick to it. And Rob from Mo Creek threw me under the bus and showed everybody. It was like, no.
I know. We were all having hidden laughs about that.
I know.
Stan True Store. What's Miss Stanley say? What are you doing? Stan's not even doing a show tomorrow night, and he already got the thumbs down. Dude, honestly, I would say it's the same person or persons. It's always that 1 to 2 that everybody seems to get. It is what it is. If you're that upset, whatever.
Oh well,
it is. Oh well.
Get the hell over it.
That's right. Yeah, Celeste,
go ahead. Celeste, go ahead and say it. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Celeste, all I got to say to you is extra. Read all about it, and I will talk to you tomorrow, young lady. Let's see. Tell them to quit. Brittany, they're not picking on me. Oh, you're talking about Dockery.
She's talking about me.
Me.
And Josh just said, if this is the first time that Christine has ever questioned you about something that somebody has sent you, you're doing pretty good, buddy.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, that's not true. Yeah, you know what I meant. Okay.
I wake up. I fish this morning, right? So I get back.
Thanks for rubbing it in. Yeah,
Katie fixes this really big lunch and puts me into a food coma, and I go lay down for a little bit. I wake up. She just smiled. I'm like, what? Because it's not one of those, I'm just happy to see you smiles. It's I'm evil and I want you to know it smile. And so she's already sent Betty Jean money for our next fishing trip when we're going back to Wisconsin in October. So yeah, we're already set that up. So
that's all.
But yeah, so well, and there is Miss Christina Dunnigan.
I'm so glad Miss Dunnigan's in here. She really classes it up where her husband does not.
Yeah.
And there's my buddy Mad Catter. I've got the new Mad Catter hat that just came in the mail today, along with my new catfish and crappie merch that I bought. Well, I should say D bought. It had her name on the package, but she did let me open the package, so I felt like it was partly mine.
That's nice of her.
John Boy, you ain't kidding.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means I've successfully made it.
The idiots are still watching the show, so I think it's funny.
Me too. Probably waiting to hear what we say about them.
Speaking of cooks, there's Mike Chavez. I'm going to tell you something. That man, I get more mad at him than anybody else in the fishing industry just because he'll put up them big old, like tomahawk steaks that he cooks and all that. And it's just like, dude, you're killing me, man. Come on. As I'm sitting here eating my peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
You know, I got to meet Art and Josh and Kyle when we went to North Carolina, and we told you we went through West Virginia, and all the way down to North Carolina. I've talked about going. You know, actually, I met LG Bass and Aaron from Catfish Regulators and those guys too. And you know, there's great fishing up in Virginia, and I would love to go out there, but there's always that West Virginia that I would have to go through. So it kind of, you know, deters me from going out there. Now, if Mike Chavez sent me a message and said he has a tomahawk steak with my name on it, I would drive through West Virginia twice. Because it does, man. Oh my God, the way he cooks just will make you drool.
That's no kidding.
Oh man, I never let D in the spotlight.
Are you serious? Man, your employees, and I'm going to say that loosely because I don't think they belong to you. They're just giving you the business.
And I deal with that 8 to 10 hours a day. All day long. That's all they do.
Well,
I can't get them to do any work because that's all they do is pick on me. There's my buddy Lee Reed. Uncle Lou, what's going on, man? Oh, look. See, that was my way of yeah. You know Mike Chavez and I are boat twins as well, right? Really? We both have Tracker Pro Team 175s. Yes, we do.
There you go. Does his go faster than yours?
I don't think it would take much to go faster than mine, but I do think I've gotten onto some stuff. I've got I'm going to replace all the spark plugs in them too, but I'm going to try to get it out this weekend after I'm hoping they will arrive tomorrow, but I haven't seen an update. So they probably arrive Monday after the weekend's over, and then it's going to rain all next week. So been doing some stuff with that, trying to figure out what's going on. Oh, he's got the Bass Tracker 175. Oh, now he's not as cool because I thought we were twins.
Yeah, it's all downhill from there. And somebody asked what my favorite fishing spot was. Any body of water. Seriously. It does not matter. If it's got water, it's got fish, I'm fishing it.
Yep. I think that's one thing I like about you. Well, probably about one of the only things I like about you, but you're not afraid to try new places. And
no, God, no.
Now, I do have a question. So, to switch things up and actually be serious for a minute. So when you go to a new lake, do you change? I mean, do you change what you start with, or do you have like a typical? This is what I do.
If I go to a new body of water, and if this is a planned trip, now if this is a spontaneous trip, we're just out driving, and we just keep driving until we find something that we like the looks of. I will start out with the same gear. All right, I'm starting out with a small crappie jig. I'm starting out with a float, spinning it, trying to find out exactly how deep those crappie are, stuff like that. If it's something that we've planned out, I'll actually go to the Missouri Department of Conservation website and look up that area. Most waters are managed or in partnership with Missouri Department of Conservation. And if they've done any type of structure work or dam repairs, stuff like that, that's all going to be on that website as far as where these, each crappie bed is, if it's got a ADA dock, if it's got a boat ramp, all this stuff. So there's all types of information on that website. So, well, they are still just giving you all kinds of business.
Avid has been giving me the business. I got my eye on him.
But yeah, for the most part, I'm using the exact same tactic at every single lake. And like I said, I fished from here. I mean, from California over to North Carolina, all the way down to the Gulf, and beyond. So, and it's all the same tactics and stuff like that. It's nothing special. And most of these people, I'll usually tell them, don't overthink it. It's just a fish. So there's your weekly tip. Don't overthink.
That is great, because I've actually said that I don't know how many times, and I actually was talking about it the other day. When you're trying to think like a fish, you're not a fish. You're trying to overthink things too much. Learn easy stuff.
One thing that I tell myself all the time is the oldest golden rule: keep it simple, stupid. Because I will overthink things when I'm out fishing all the time. I'll be getting good bites here and think, man, that looks like it's a better spot, 400 yards down over that way. And of course, I'll trudge all the way over there and not catch a thing. And I left fish to go find fish. So,
Justin, just so you know, it's my show and I'll cry if I want to.
Guys,
welcome to the show,
cry again.
Freddie. I don't cry too often. I use the same rigs from saltwater to freshwater, just use different size hooks and weights.
There you go. That's pretty much it.
See, and that's one thing I hear, especially with catfishing and stuff. People are always like, downsize your hooks, downsize your baits. So I might use a little bit smaller bait chunk, but I use the same kind of hooks, because I'm telling you, I've used 8 and 10 odd hooks and caught 1 pound channels. Their bows are big enough to eat the daggone thing, and they're not shy. So why change my hook size? Now,
well, really the only thing that I'll change when I'm catfishing is whether or not I'll either do just a regular standard Carolina rig or a Santee rig.
Right. Yeah.
That's pretty much the only thing. And and there's some times when I might put a float on and and float some baits around some brush or something like that for flathead or whatever. That's the only setups that I'm using. So, and they work. So why change it?
Yeah, exactly. So I have to admit something, Dockery. We were talking about the whole keeping track earlier, and I updated my spreadsheet after the weekend, and I was embarrassed when you said you were where you were. I haven't even broke 100 yet, man. I think it was 87 was my number right now.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna have to. I gotta quit my job. I gotta go fishing.
No, don't quit your job, buddy. Don't quit your job. Don't. And what are you, silvercat? I have yet to catch a silvercat this year.
I know what's up with that.
I haven't even. I have no idea, man. I haven't even gone over and targeted them yet.
B&M's going to take your sponsorship away and take your name off their polls.
I know. I hear you. Those silvercats. Richard, I still apologize about that. And I'm not going to explain that story to anybody else just because it's too funny. But, Richard, you know what I'm talking about, buddy. But no, I mean, I will. I mean, I'll wake up one morning and think, you know what? Today, I'm just going to target bluegill. Tomorrow, I may wake up and go, you know what? I'm going after crappie today. Tomorrow night, heck, man, I may be sitting on a riverbank or, a lake somewhere catfishing. It's really hard telling, what I'm going to be going after. And it may be drum, it may be gar, it may be sturgeon, whatever the case may be. If I feel like fishing for it, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah. Now, we were actually talking about this earlier, as letting the girls do the takeover, but I know one particular probably wouldn't want to do at least a whole show.
No.
I'll be honest, I was honored when we were at Mendota that she set in for a few on our show. But I had to pay her. That was awesome.
I had to pay her.
Well, you need to pay her more with how many miles you're putting on her car.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, man. You should see the miles on my truck. Yeah, I'm not happy about that either.
That's a good question, my Celissa. So, what is your favorite fish to keep and eat?
Crappie, hands down, without a doubt, right off the bat, crappie.
Yeah. Now I do like going, and I don't do it too often. I probably do it maybe once or twice a year where I take a fishing trip to one of like the smaller lakes or something like that, and I look for just eater size channel cats and blue cats, and I'll get a mess or two. Besides that, I'm with you. And especially after all I got to do is drive about an hour, and I can get Betty to make me up some of that special coatings that she does for crappie. Man, they're it's amazing.
Yeah. And for those I saw the comment earlier and spaced it, but no, we're not going after sturgeon or anything like that up there. We're going after yellow perch and walleye when we go up there in October. So
I would love to try the yellow perch. I really wish they would have been in. They wouldn't have been like off season when we were up there with the perch, and I would have liked to at least caught some perch and stuff and tried them. I've never had it.
Well, and I targeted them really hard from about January 1st up here until about probably a month ago, and I couldn't hook into anything. I mean, I was using every tactic. I mean, I picked Mark from Catfish and Crappie. He does quite a bit of fishing for him up there where he's at. And I was like, look, man, I give me some tips, some pointers, all this stuff. I was reading article after article after article, and I just couldn't hit them. And I gave up. And I'll be damned, the next day I caught 2 of them right in a row. And it was like, okay, that's it. I just got to give up on it.
Exactly. That sounds about right. But I do know you was on them for a while trying to figure out where the heck they were. They're not prevalent really in your area. So,
yep,
Betty. Yeah. Unfortunately, there ain't no way I'm going to be quitting anytime soon, dear. It was these haters. Ooh, these haters have probably put the hex on you, Mr. Dockery. That's probably Creole is got the voodoo, that Louisiana voodoo doll. Even though down here
that
a little ways down, he didn't. Well, we know it wouldn't be his sweet wife, because she's just the angel. Mr. Four is. Don't forget yes, thank you very much. What's going on, Catfish regulators? Brittany, have fun with your new 6 a.m. start time. Appreciate you being in here. I did give her some grief, Dockery, because she hadn't been in like 6 months, it seemed like, for the show. So I thought maybe she had something against you.
No, who's to say that me and her aren't talking on the side, buddy?
No, I don't know.
I'm saying,
where was the?
I do have a life outside of the show.
All I got to say is, Celissa, be kind or I'm gone. Let's see. I'm missing some stuff here. I'm trying to get the questions. Dee's husband and Dinosaur Dockery. What rigs do you prefer in the summertime heat? And what is your depth and water? What are we fishing for here, Matt? I mean,
yeah,
that's gonna be change my answer probably. But if you're talking about catfish, for me, my rig's gonna stay the same year round. It's gonna be a Santee Cooper rig. And the only thing that may change on it will be my leader length. And I've even gotten to that to where I'm not changing the leader length as much as a lot of people do. I'm actually utilizing the float in different spots of my leader line to dictate where my bait's going to be in that water column. Because I'll be honest, when I make a leader, I hate measuring it. I'm not going to make one that's 12 inches every time or 24 inches every time. I'm not that great at it. So I'm going to utilize that.
Lot of, right. And there's also a lot of videos out there. Josh, the Weekend Angler, has got one where he was using, he kind of stumbled across it by mistake up there in Mendota. Where he was, his leader line was really long, and basically it was being able to keep that bait up there above the weed line and stuff like that. That's the most important thing. I mean, if you're, and move around. If you're not getting something, within, 30 minutes to an hour in one spot, move. Especially if you're bank fishing. If you're boat in a boat and stuff like that, it might even be a shorter time period than that, especially if the fish are actually biting that day. I mean, I've seen guys move after 15 minutes with nothing, no hits, no nothing like that. They're like, all right, it's time to go. And if I got, they'll pack up and go to a brand new spot. And
so he was talking about, So man, like I said, that's one thing I've thought more and more, because everybody's like, in the wintertime, shorten your leaders, and summertime people are using something like even like 36-inch leaders and this and that. And it's like, to me, it's position it at the right height in the water column. And just like you said, with changing up like Josh did, is I fish the same way. If the current is not going to let me do what I need to do that day, that's another reason why I love the Sandy Cooper. I can take a dragon weight off and throw a coin sinker on it and fish just the same way.
Yep.
And if I can slide that's another float up and down.
Right. And see, and that was another reason that I actually stick with the peg floats, is because the peg float, I don't have to cut that off, retie it, all that stuff. Doc Lane talked about using those Demon Dragons and using one of the rubber seal washers that he put around the Demon Dragon to keep it inside and keep it in place and keep it from sliding up and down and stuff like that on his line. And, that's even a great idea. You just want to be able to adjust that float, in case you want that bait a little bit closer to the bottom, or you want it, say, 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the bottom. So it's kind of trial and error in every area. It's not just, the same all the way across the board. So
let's go on walleye fishing up at Lake Erie here in a few weeks. I don't remember approving that time off, but that's fine. But yeah, fishing and stuff's video that he put out a couple weeks, or probably a week or so ago, 2 weeks, really made me start thinking too of really paying attention to the size of the baits versus using a peg float, one of the styrofoam floats, or actually them Demon Dragons. The Demon Dragons don't hold the weight up as much as I thought. So
see, I don't think they do. I really don't.
They don't.
And that was why I went back to those peg floats and stuff. Is one, because I can move them a lot easier. Two, they cost a heck of a lot less. And let's be honest, if you're a true fisherman, you're losing rigs. I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you've been doing it. You never know what you're going to cast into. So chances are you're going to lose, a rig. And whether you want to pay $1 for a peg float or $7 for a Demon Dragon,
Yeah. I mean, even the
Demon Dragon knockoff.
Yeah, even the knockoffs, or even if you get the clear blanks and stuff, the just the spook part of it, those things aren't even that cheap. They're a couple bucks a piece, and especially now that people are starting to catch on. I mean, when you kind of first became a big thing, you could get packages of those clear ones for little or nothing on Amazon. Now you can't. They're starting to go up, which is just costing it even more for.
But and I will warn everybody, because we're starting to see it around here. If you're planning on buying new fishing equipment, do it here pretty quick. I have a funny feeling that the supply chain is going to run really thin again this year. Katie said she went into Walmart the other day and there was barely anything left in there. And I was talking to one of the girls that works down there, and they can't get the stuff that they normally get. So get it while you can. And don't forget, if you can't, if you can, buy from your small mom and pop bait shops, guys. They can use that business 4 or 5 times, better than what the Walmarts can.
This whole wall, well, except for 1, 2 reels, exactly. My local bait shop. That's where we're getting that kind of stuff. What's going on, Dan and Alicia? I see somebody else. Sean T. I don't know if I said hi to you earlier, buddy, but hello.
Hey, there's Mike Sampson.
Sampy in here? What's going on, Sampy?
Yep.
Hope you're doing well, bud. But yeah, I 100% agree with that, man. Is because I usually have a good conversation each time I go down to the local bait shops, and it is, them. You think Walmart and them guys are having a hard time getting stuff in? Those guys are really struggling because they're not at the buying power that people like Walmart and Bass Pro and all that have. So if you think those guys aren't getting it in, these guys are really struggling. So if you can,
that is very true.
Go pay the extra, couple bucks for a reel from them guys versus the big ones, because they're really making it.
And guys, if you do go and you say you fish in new waters and stuff like that, and if they've got a bait shop, there is a wealth of information inside that bait shop. If you go in there and you talk to those guys, they're talking to these fishermen, and fishermen, look, if someone's catching big fish, they're bragging about it to somebody. And chances are it's to that bait shop owner of, oh yeah, this is where I caught this one, and hey, look at this one and all that stuff.
Avid, I got news for you, Avid. When the tackle shop sees me coming, they bring stuff out because they know that I'm going to spend everything I got.
Especially if D's not with him. He's like, oh, here he comes. Here comes the Mark. Yeah. But no, talk to those guys that own the bait shops, man. I mean, they may not put you straight on the fish, but they'll get you closer than just blind fishing it. And there goes Chad. So it's the Dockery show now. He's gone. I don't know where he's gone. Maybe D finally just snapped, guys. So let's see. Well, he just left me again. He always does this. And now he's back. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe D didn't snap.
I have no idea what just happened.
Did you hit a button? You know you're not allowed to play with buttons, right?
Button. Give it a button. Catfish and Dream. What's going on, Brandon Enix? It just about turned into the Dockery show. God only knows where the last 15 minutes of the show would have went without me.
Well, depends, man. If I'm in a good mood, I'll continue giving information. If I'm in a bad mood, well, yeah, it doesn't go over too well.
Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anything besides that. Dollar Tree Wi-Fi. That's right. I mean, I'm actually hardwired in, but the internet around this subdivision I live in is not the greatest. Let's see. Good question, Freddie. What did I miss? Freddie, how heavy of weight do you use on summer cat rigs? So normally, you go first on that one? Yeah, I'll go first on that one. So our summer pool around here, Freddie, I'm going to be dragging baits. So more than likely, I'm going to be using about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounce tops on the dragging weights. If there's a little bit of current, I might go a little bit heavier. But as far as using like lead, depends on what I've got in the boat. I have anywhere between 3 to 10 ounces. And it all depends on how I'm fishing. If I'm suspended, vertically drifting down, I'm going to use probably 5 to 8 ounces in the summer, depending on the current. So that's more normally my go-to with that kind of stuff.
Right, and depending on where I'm fishing, and depending on where I'm fishing, I'm using anywhere from 3/4 ounce in slow current all the way up to 16 ounce sinkers. And I do actually have a couple of 24 ounce sinkers that, and I've been in situations where that won't even keep the bait in place. Yep. So it all depends on, whether I'm fishing the Missouri River, the Mississippi River, the Sheraton River up here, the Fox, the Wyconda. It all depends on the current flow as to what I'm using. If I'm just fishing down here in the lake, I'm just going to put a 1 or 2 ounce coin sinker on there, and that's just to let the big dogs eat when I'm throwing it way out there if I want to get to a certain spot.
Right. So how deep am I dragging? So again, mostly what I fish is river. So in Ohio River, 9 times out of 10, especially in the summertime, I'm going to be starting around 30 to 35 feet. Where I fish at is the deepest part is about 50 to 60 feet. I've never my sweet spot is typically around 35 feet. And when I pull in these great planer boards that I've gotten from Uncle Lou, and I've got some from Junior Proctor that we've drug in the past, I'm going to let them tell me where the fish are. If I'm not catching anything at the 30, 35 feet, but I'm catching them on the inside, I'm going to move over. I'm going to start moving to that 20, 25 feet because I know that maybe that's where they're at, right? Or vice versa. I usually use the boards to kind of tell me where the fish are, and I'll make those adjustments as I'm dragging.
And also something that Chad hadn't mentioned, though, is during the summer months and stuff like that, especially if you're fishing from a boat, if you've got your depth finder on and stuff like that, you can see the thermocline. So you want to, you want to stay out of that thermocline and find you a good spot. The bad thing about bank fishing is you don't, especially if you're blind fishing, and by blind fishing, I mean, you're just casting random. You don't know where that thermocline is out there. And a lot of times, you'll talk to, some of these bass fishermen and stuff like that, and has a better what signal? Yeah. Freddie, go sit in the corner. But yeah, so I mean, if you're not getting bites and that they're biting really, really well, you know what? Reel your bait in, say 10, 15 feet and try that and see if that, you can't get that coming up that incline just up out of that thermocline area. So
yeah, I mean, it's not very often, but the Ohio River is pulled up. I think there's like 13 dams or more I can't remember. I counted the other day, or 13 pools in the Ohio River. So if we don't get a lot of rain in the summertime, it actually becomes stagnant water. And not last year, but the year before, there was actually a thermocline in the Ohio River during the July and August months. So again, I don't normally go.
No point.
Yeah, it was like a lake. I mean, it was like a lake that didn't move at all. And I seen Brandon saying that he fishes deeper, and sometimes I do. There's occasionally where I'll find that water, that 30, 35 is not deep enough, and it might be 40 to 45 feet. But rarely ever do I hit that deepest part of the lake or of the river, because I've never had any luck in those spots in this area. Now in lakes I have, but not on the river. That doesn't mean that fish don't pass through there, but that's not my prime range where I've been on catching fish most of the time. So
right. Well, somebody had asked about floating baits and stuff like that, whether it's under a big bobber or a balloon and stuff like that. And it's usually with me, it's anywhere from 2 to 6 foot, depending on where I'm fishing and what I'm fishing. If I'm fishing in current, it's going to be a little bit deeper. If I'm fishing in standing lake water, where big brush pile is or something like that, I'll go shorter, just to get that bait up there closer to that and not get hung up every time. So you just literally. All right, buddy. I'll check it here in a minute, Ryan. But yeah, I mean, you just have to try things that that everybody talks about. At least try it. What you're going to be out one day of fishing, and if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But if something does work for you, stick with it.
And that's exactly how I learned.
Hone in from there. Yeah.
What I do now, I had never heard of dragging baits or vertical drifting or anything like that. And my buddy Mark Blavel took me out and showed me both ways of doing it. And I would do that any day I can versus anchoring now. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
To fish that way.
Well, and go ahead.
I was just going to throw out, I do want to plug this real quick because it's something that I'm going to win. Next month, the Weekend Angler, if you haven't subbed, obviously go sub him. He is putting on the. Now Dee's in there saying she's going to win the pool party. So
he probably will win.
It'll be Ohio River only, but there's, like I said, there's tons of different pools on the Ohio River, and we will all be fishing against each other with that for fun. I think it'll be a great time, especially since I'm going to win. I'm not. I already said because I said I was going to. Yeah. But yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun. There's a lot of good people already in it that I know that's going to be doing it. So it should be a lot of fun. Let's see.
But for those of you that don't know, I've only really truly been targeting trophy catfish for about 5 years. I happened to stumble upon Catfish Weekly one night, and that was a game changer. I learned a lot of information from watching Catfish Weekly that I wanted to try, and it upped my game, because before it was, okay, I'm a catfisherman, I'm gonna go out and I would throw out just basically as far as I could and let it sit on the bottom, and it would sit there for 4 or 5 hours, and even a broken clock is right twice in a day, and I'd get hooked up every great once in a while with a 5 or 6 pound channel cat or a blue or a small flathead or something like that. But once I actually started learning the information that they were giving and actually giving it a shot, it did, and I'm not afraid to try something different. So if I see something that somebody's doing that is truly working, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many different ways to fish, and something that if you've maybe struggled with the way you fish, learning from somebody else might totally change your game. You might have a lot more successful trips if you just listen, pay attention a little bit. I mean, or if Josh Dunnigan would just take Christina bluegill fishing more often, she would be so much happier, and she wouldn't push him and hurt him.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to pump out Chadwick James, and I'm going to invite her to come up here and go bluegill fishing with me.
You should. Somebody's got to take her.
And that's all. That's all we're going to do is we're going to go out. And we're just going to spend a day bluegill fishing. Let Josh be the the good dad and spend time with the baby, and So
I think it's only fair after all that he's put her through.
This is true. It's not Jerry Roberts. It is Chadwick James.
Jerry what? Jerry Hatcher.
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea.
Where'd Jerry Robert come from? That wasn't even on the table. I mean, come on, it even sounds about.
Wait a minute. Did we even vote? Did we vote on that? I don't think we did.
No. I mean, it was kind of like Lyle Mark or whatever. I mean, come on, it doesn't have that. But Chadwick James does though. That is
marketable name right there, buddy. I mean,
you can even tell your son, Josh, one day that we chose it not only because of the two legends that he's named after, but it just flowed like a river.
There you go. Oh man, don't get all emotional, Chad.
I might get emotional with this one. I'm just saying.
Man, look, guys. Okay, Panfish Weekly's coming up or Panfish Nation's coming up after our show. Maybe we should wrap this up. It's been a good show. We don't want you to ruin it by getting all teary-eyed and all that other stuff.
Why does everybody think I'm gonna cry tonight?
I don't know. I really have no idea. Maybe it's because the girls keep picking on you.
You're right. Look, here's another. Oh, where'd he go? The girls do keep. Look, there's Avid again. Shad.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm a legend in my own mind. And every time I go to click on one, it bounces up. Only thing you've ever won was D, and you know what? That was a great win.
This is that. You know what? They're actually kind of true. Kind of true. Say that is true.
Let's see. Let me know if I can help dreams. I dream big, Avid. I dream big. Let's see. Make sure I'm going to live test this weekend. Christina, Jerry, Robert is not. No, Parker. It sounds about like as reject as you.
No, yeah. Listen, man.
You
seriously want your kid named after Rob and Parker?
Exactly. I mean, you look at them two. That, I mean, that's already your kid. Your kid has no future if you look at those two guys.
Exactly.
I mean, one's going to be lost in a creek while the other one's just sitting there tying jigs and never doing it. It's worse than video games. That'll be your kid's life, tying jigs for the rest of their life and never doing anything else.
Just saying.
It's hard work, Stan. It is so hard work being such a great whatever the hell I am. Who's having a kid?
Sean T. Christina Dunnigan is having one.
Weekend Anglers. Christina and Josh Dunnigan.
Oh, I wasn't going to mention Josh.
Now, he gets like 10% credit.
Yeah, maybe.
Then again, she made it just like the last time, knocked him out. No, let's go about 20 minutes.
All right,
let's hold those guys up. I'm just kidding. Nothing.
Oh, I would have done it just to watch Lyle, get all uppity and stomping around. You think he would? We've been getting phone calls. Probably.
All right, care. Yeah, let's wrap her up for today. It was a good show, man.
All right.
Good talks. A little bit of. I don't like it all this picking on me, but
we actually gave out information. What the hell was up with that?
We gave a little bit of information out. There was a lot of picking on me for some reason. It seems like the crowd is starting to turn on me, and they're like cheering Mr. Dockery and all this kind of stuff. So I have to see what we can come up with to switch the tide back. I don't know what's going on with this. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming on in. Hopefully you hit that thumbs up for me. We would appreciate that. If you have not, maybe doing it on the way out before we lock the doors. And if you are about ready here in 3 minutes, Panfish Nation will be going live. I'm not sure who their guest is tonight, but I do believe they do have a guest tonight. So
I do too. And for the guy that gives us our thumbs down, I hope your finger gets stuck in your crack.
That.
Just saying.
On that note, good night. See you guys next week.